The first leg of the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment Triple Crown, brought drivers to the tricky triangle, Pocono Raceway. And this race had everything from close racing to split strategies and lots of drama. The 2-hour slugfest began with previous Pocono winner Jake Wright and Dan Guerin on the front row. And Guerin's nailed-it teammate Ian Adams quickly made his way to the front. And he and Guerin attempted to break away from Wright, but Jake was having none of it. As laps ticked away, Team Adrenaline began to show its force. Joe Branch and current points leader Andrew Kinsella carved their way towards the top 5. The battle for third, however, allowed Adams and Guerin to pull a comfortable gap. Contact and a spin by Jason Galvin on lap 17 stacked the field. Half the cars peeled off for fuel and tires. The strategies split the 2 lead Nailed-It and Adrenaline cars, with Adams and Guerin pitting, but Branch and Kinsella staying out, trying to make it a fuel one extra stop. A third bullet for Nailed-It. Defending race winner Jonathan Goh, who also stayed out, began hounding the Adrenaline teammates and wasn't the only driver. Dave Barber found himself up to 5th, and Barber eventually pounded through, but contact between James Paulson and Ryan Otis brought out a caution. Otis slides into Paulson, who spins to the middle of the track, left many with nowhere to go. Among those collected, Michael Peters and Jake Wright. As the race went on, attrition claimed many, but once strategies converged, Branch and Kinsella held the advantage over the 2 Nailed-It cars. However, not for the lead. It's Dave Barber from Controlled Chaos who leapfrogged the 2 teams and commanded a healthy lead over the final laps until hard racing boiled over. In turn 1, Ian Adams and Kinsella made contact that sent Adams hard into the wall, but collected George Adams and George Anzaldo. Several others had to miss as well. On the final restart, it was Dave Barber looking for his first Lionheart win, and a valiant effort to hold off Adrenaline teammates Chris Stouffer and Andrew Kinsella, but Stouffer and Barber make contact. It sent Barber into the outside wall in turn 3, bringing out the race's final caution and handing the win to Chris Stouffer. It's the second win for Stouffer and the first Triple Crown victory. Kinsella comes home second, making it an Adrenaline 1-2. Dan Guerin rallied to finish out the podium. The next stop on the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment, Texas Motor Speedway, an always entertaining race. Engineered to win, built to last, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more info on HPP and the products they offer, go to hppsimulation.com. And for more information on the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment, head to lionheartracingseries.com.
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
For these drivers, it isn't about the largest purse in Lionheart history, it's about keeping the memory of Dan Weldon alive. Any one of the 42 drivers can win, but to do so, they will need speed and determination. Rookies must battle hardened veterans, and all must conquer an assortment of roads and ovals.
On the inside, can he make it stick? He loses momentum. No, he cannot make it stick. Race pulls ahead. There's nothing they touch. The winner is going to be Big Show. No, it's Stouffer. I called it wrong. He's going to try to close the door out of pit exit, and I think he has to move.
With the history of double-digit winners per season, the challenge will be harder than ever. Which one will ultimately be crowned Lionheart champion? You're watching the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment, the premier American open-wheel championship on iRacing, exclusively on GSRC.
One week after a dramatic double-point Triple Crown race at Pocono that shook up the championship standings, the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment arrives at Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas 200. This afternoon, it's back to standard points for round 8 of 24 on the Season 5 calendar, and all the Dallara DW12 action from Pace Lap to Victory Donuts can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. From the Lone Star State, welcome to Von Hansen's Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, You'll be furnished with all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the Texas 200 that will immediately follow. I'm Bill Soups on. Sean Crackers Ambrose is on assignment, so joining me in the booth is Tanner Sharp. Amjad Yaman is in the director's chair, and Dougie Beard is the camera guru. Throughout the Lionheart history, Texas has been notoriously kind to pole sitters. Past winners Matt Kingsbury, Dan Guerin, and Jake Wright all earned the pole and led the majority of the laps on their way to victory lane. If trends mean anything, having earned a pole at 3 oval tracks already this season, Dan Guerin of Team Nailed It should be considered the favorite. But with 5 oval races producing 5 different winners, nothing is certain.
And folks, everything on the Countdown to Green show is brought to you thanks to Von Hansen's Meats Market. Since 1983, Von Hansen's has delivered personalized, full service in a friendly, old-fashioned meat market environment. They offer a large and ever-expanding selection of meat products and menu ideas ranging from casual gatherings to special occasions. For more information, please visit www.vonhansens.com. All right, Texas Motor Speedway's track overlay, the track info and track video coming up here, opening up in 1996. The track is located in the northernmost portion of Fort Worth, Texas. It's a 1.5 mile quad oval design where the front straightaways juts outward slightly. It's very similar to the ovals of Charlotte and Atlanta, so pretty much sister tracks to those two tracks. Turns 1 and 2 are banked at 20 degrees, and 3 and 4 is a little bit steeper at 24 degrees. Both IndyCar and NASCAR have been coming here since the track opened. Many fans still associated Texas Motor Speedway with the ill-conceived 2001 kart Firestone Firehawk 600. In that event, officials feared that long exposure to extreme G-forces might cause the drivers to pass out while racing. So the race was canceled a few hours before the green flag was due to drop. On the bright side, a subsequent lawsuit by the Speedway forced CART into bankruptcy, which led the unification of open-wheel racing in the United States. Hopefully there will not be any lawsuits associated with the Texas 200. This being a simulation, if any drivers do lose consciousness, it won't be to G-force related. But the best way to get an idea of what it's like for these drivers to be experiencing is to hop on board the GSRC DW Darla and I'll take a lap around the Texas Motor Speedway.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek at the Texas Motor Speedway in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. Texas is a fast, high-banked 1.5 mile oval, sure to put on a heck of a show for the fans. Down here into turn 1, you're pretty much just going to drive it straight to that white line on the track. Don't hit it because your car will basically immediately spin out and find the fence or find a fellow competitor that's near you. Down into turn 3, a little lazier of an entrance, but still the same. Find the bottom, let it roll through the middle, and you're going to be exiting up out of the corner. Especially in this car, it feels like you're coming out of a rocket ship. Down into turn 1 once again, 220 miles an hour. Find the white line, don't hit it with the tires, hook the bottom and kind of let it float out towards the wall and back down the back stretch. Turn 3, same situation, let it float down, maybe roll up a little bit in the corner just as the tires burn off, but back out onto the quad oval, across the line. And that completes your track guide around the Texas Motor Speedway in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
Brian Yazek takes us a lap around Texas. And now before we look at the point standings, keep in mind that these are the raw totals. However, the GSRC stat boys Simon and Poindexter have once again calculated the points, taking into account the 3 dropped race events that the rules allow for, and we'll show you those during a caution period. But right now, let's go ahead and look at the raw numbers. Now, winning the season opener put Andrew Casella at the top of the chart, and the Adrenaline driver has stayed there ever since. A runner-up finish at Pocono has Havaketch out in front of Team Nailed It Dan Guerin by 43 points. Dandy Dan was up 4 positions. AGR was expecting big things from rookie Michael Goodman, and he has not disappointed, up 2 spots now into third. Streamline's Ryan Otis has been itching up the charts, and Drop Race Insurance will be a big help as he has a no-show result, blemishing his record. And that's the same thing for Jonathan Real Thing Goke, who moved up 6 spots for hashtag Nailed It into 9th, and can drop some of those no-shows as well. At risk of being Captain Obvious, if you win a double point paying Triple Crown event, it's going to help you in the standings, which Adrenaline's Chris Stouffer can attest to. He's up from 29th now in 13th. Let's go ahead and look at the team championships now. Stouffer and Kinsella went 1-2 at Pocono, add in 66 points from Joe Branch, and Adrenaline grabbed a robust 300 points to win the day. And like a lock precision rocket, they shot up from 3rd into 1st. No Name finished 5th in Pennsylvania, mustering only 107 points. Dan Guerin, Jonathan Goke, and Michael Gray outscored No Name Racing by 100 points. Get that. No Name Racing, a point leader, lost by 100 points to the second place team. And now hashtag Nailed It sits 3rd. Yes, dropping a spot, but still closer to the lead than last round. 23 points separate 1st to 3rd. That is what you call a close fight. Finally, it was another big day for Controlled Chaos. Bob Micah, Scott Bolster, and Dave Barber finished 3rd on the day, climbing 3 spots over Dragonfly, Streamline, and Blue Bayou. Okay, Tanner, let's go ahead and run through some of these other championships that they have. But we'll start with the rookie standings here.
Yeah, the rookie standings currently led by Andrew Constella up there with 375 points. The number 99, Michael Goodman, in the 301, 74 points back. Ryan Otis, 79 points back in 3rd. Bolster, 155 points back. Jagaliner's 172. That rounds up the top 5. Collins is 185 back in 6th. Paulson, 199 back in 7th. Wardlow, 204 back in 8th. Moeller, 263 back in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 in the rookie standings is Adams, who's 265 points back.
And there you go. And let's go ahead and look at these manufacturers. These are kind of weird. They just get to pick their teams. Who's up at the top there?
Chevrolet.
There you go. Goes all the way down. Toyota, Mazda, Ford. And what do you think? Tesla going to try to get up a spot there before this is over?
You know, the Toyotas look like right now they're really in contention on probably taking this top spot over after this race is done. But you never know. You just never know.
Tight battle up front. Okay, finally, this is the fun one. This is the Sim Money standings. Who's at the top of the chart?
Andrew Constella currently leading the Sim Money standings. Jake Wright in 2nd by that's a pretty good margin right there by Andrew Constella. Dan Green in 3rd with 599,500. Michael Gray in 4th. Michael Goodman in 5th. Brian Yazik 6th. 7th Bob Mikes. 8th Ryan Otis. 9th James Krahula. And rounding out that top 10 in the money standings is Jonathan Goke.
And I can also report that Area 51 as a team is still in the red. Good luck to them. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the race details here, the series details and then race-specific details.
All right, let's talk about all that good stuff here. Sponsor is First Medical Equipment, where these fellas are in season 5 on a schedule of 16 races and 16 ovals and 8 road, which consists of 24 races. This race today is round number 8 with the Darla DW12 IndyCar. Setups, custom fix, roster 42 drivers, and the prizes are crazy. And the prizes, $1,800 in cash with the league champion winning $250 plus a set of HPP pedals valued at $1,250. Total cash and prizes comes to a grand total of $3,450. Weather today is 83 degrees outside, 94 degrees is the track temperature, mostly cloudy afternoon skies. There is some sun out there, and the humidity a sticky 85% with the wind at a low coming 2 miles an hour coming from the north. Qualifying is a 2-lap loner, 133 laps. These bad boys are going to be going around this joint. 75% of fuel, so approximately 3 pit stops. Maximum fuel stints are going to be about 39 to 40 laps. Incident cap times 8. If you reach that incident cap to times 8, that means you lose 3 points. A times 12 is a disqualification and a -5. So do not hit the wall, do not make contact with another wall, and don't hit the grass. Fast repairs, there are no fast repairs in this series. Cautions, yes, of course. We might see some cautions here at Texas. Restarts are single file, and the points are standard, unlike last week at Pocono.
Okay, qualifying is just about wrapping up here, and they're about to go racing. And you know, when it is time to go racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit, you guessed it, www.hppsimulations.com. And there you go. We have made it through Countdown to the Green. That takes us right into the qualifying, where we can go ahead and show you how that played out right now. Let's bring that up. And you can see on the top, we'll do this a row at a time. It's Jake Wright, your defending champion, with Jonathan Goke. Trevor?
In third place.
I did it, didn't I?
In third, it's Ron Hacker and Big Joe Hazard in fourth.
Too many guys working in the booth with me. I miss you, Crackers. I never have that problem. Pierre Nightingale sitting in row 3 inside of Michael Goodman.
Chris Stouffer in seventh, and Brendan Lickerman is in eighth.
And then it is James Grahula and Jason Robarge rounding out row 5.
Outside the top 10, Tony Schoen in 11th and Bob Mikes in 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it is Jason Galvin and Dan Guerin.
Brian Yazik in the top 15, alongside with, in 16th, Chris Lalani.
Row 9 is Ryan Otis and George Anzaldo.
Scott Bolster in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 I'm reading here is Racing Kangaroo Gray.
Hidden Blackjack is Dave Whammy Barber. And in the double duck spot, Rory Collins.
Peter Edwins in 23rd, and 24th, Jack Bogan.
Who can make the sunrise? Well, it's the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow in the quarter century mark. Trevor Brissett outside of him.
Ed Tutwiler in 27th, and beside him, James Paulson.
Travis Jagerliner in 29th, rounding out 30th position. My goodness, what's he doing way down here? It's your point leader, Andrew Kinsella.
Outside the top 30, Mitchell Moeller, and 32nd place, Robert Bolin.
Mike Peters and newcomer Brian Greenlee sitting 33rd and 34th.
Frank Beiser in 35th, the last car to take a qualifying time, and 36th, George D. Adams.
Vincent Bluthethal and Patrick Taylor did not get in qualifying times. 38 drivers' names on the entry list. We'll see if all 38 actually take the grid. Now we do have some in-car cameras that we want to get through. We're going to start by looking at Michael Gray, the Racing Kangaroo. Michael Gray in the Race Center onboard camera. We also have Big Bob Mikas in the Von Hanses Meet onboard camera. We'll keep an eye on him. And finally, Dave Whammy Barber, the racing guitar player and accountant for the Lock Precision onboard camera. And our featured driver today that we're going to watch is that is going to be Dave Barber. Of course, he's our featured driver in the Lock Precision car. Well, there you have it. We've got all the business out of the way. I hope you got your drink all nicely iced up. You got a little bit of snack there sitting with you, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a good race set up here. 133 laps, 200 miles.
Yes, sir. Time to get these guys go bad fast around this place. It's going to be fast and wild. Coming off turn number 4, here we go. Jake Wright, Jonathan Goke, 1-2, pace cars in, green flag. We are racing at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. Jake Wright leads the stampede of cars down into the first corner. Jonathan Goke drops in second. Ron Hacker and Big Joe Hazard follow suit.
Nice clean start of the race here, coming off turn number 2, entering turn number 3 right now. Everybody's getting pretty much sorted out here in a single file racing aspect. I'm trying to see the first side-by-side racing is actually going to be for the third spot, actually. That was battle for the lead. Looks like Jonathan Goke.
Goke in that team hashtag nailed it car ducks underneath Jake Wright, and he takes that position. Now they're side by side. That's Hazard on the inside, Hacker on the outside, Goodman on the inside, Degla on the outside. They continue to win 2 by 2 in the back. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good. Clean side-by-side racing, giving each other a lot of room at these high speeds and the high banks of Texas. Jake Wright has fallen back to third with Big Joe has it in the second spot. Could be gunning for more, trying to get some legs down that backstretch, entering turn number 3, and not going to quite get there for the race lead just yet. But there's some good side-by-side racing back here, though, for a spot that for about the 6th, 7th position back here. That actually got unfolded with Chris Stouffer and Michael Goodman.
Jonathan Goke gets credit for leading lap number 3. Yeah, let's go back and jump back. How about 10th position? This is James Krahula back here trying to fend off Dandy Dan Guerin on the top side. And then that familiar blue and yellow car, that is the KGET machine of Jason Galvin. Boy, he is right on the tailpipe of James Krahula.
Yeah, I don't think... Big Joe Hazard just took the lead.
Well, we report that Hazard has the lead, but I think it's going to be short-lived. Gope made a little run on him, but he didn't press the case.
Yeah, this is a good time for Big Joe Hazard to come out front. He knows he can compete with the big boys, so he's out front leading this race. But that battle for 10th kind of got pretty close. As you said, from nose to tail, I was going to say, you don't want to be bump drafting in these things.
Yeah, we've seen several different types of ovals here. We've had draft tracks that have been where passing has been easy. We've had some very flat ovals like Phoenix where the passing was rough. Right now, I think passing is going to be pretty simple. It's kind of more of a dance than it is a race right now.
Yeah, these guys can dance with each other just a little bit, but just be careful. You don't want to carry too much speed entering the corner. You can go straight up into the wall. But these guys know what they're doing.
Looking back at 15th position right there, as we're looking at Jason Galvin continuing to make his climb up. He's running just ahead of that yellow car. That's Michael Gray from Australia. Riding on board with Gray. And look at that as we look up forward at Galvin, trying to peek inside of Bob Mikas. Mikas in the Vaughn Hansen's meat machine already has a win. We're looking back. Now we look up. There we go.
Tremendous onboard camera views here of all the action going on the racetrack of these drivers entering down turn number 3, exiting off 4. And I tell you what, Jason Galvin, he lost a couple spots at the start of the race here, but it looks like he's trying to get on back.
That's so done. You could see looking up there way ahead, there was almost a touch. Brandon Lincoln almost got into it with Dan Guerin. Let's go there right now. This is for 10th position. Guerin, look underneath Lincoln right now, and he gets that spot. Guerin qualified in 14th spot. That's kind of far back. Remember, we talked about Guerin. He already had 3 oval poles under his belt this season. Was surprised to see him so far down the order in 14th.
Yeah, I mean, outside the top 10 and 14th, like you said, Soup, and now he's just cracked the top 10 at the start-finish line this past time by. So that was going to move him in the top 10. He might be a contender before this day is all done and over with.
To save me having to read it in the forums, let's go back up to front because I don't want to hear from Big Joe Hazard how I'm finally out in front and nobody's covering me. We got you, Big Joe. There you are, out in front. Racing in that beautiful Arctic Cat machine, car number 11, the black and yellow car being chased by Jonathan Real Thing Goke.
Yeah, Jonathan Real Thing Goke is not letting him go. He's just keeping in his tracks right now. So Big Joe Hazard, he can be comfortable all he wants, but Jonathan Goke can strike at any time as he wishes.
Let's drop in on our hard charger. In 23rd position right now is Kinsella.
Yep,
I believe that's
points leader.
Remember, we saw him start way in the very back.
Wow, he just sliced and diced through the middle like that.
And they make contact. And we have a caution. That was Bassett and Lanini, I think. Watch the replay.
I think Bassett kind of cut the wheel to the left just a little more than usual. Maybe he got a little loose coming off the corner. That back end just kind of came out on him. But he really popped him.
Lanini, the slow car, was way off the pace. And he got Frank Beiser got into him at the very end. I think it's a 3-car incident.
Yeah,
Lanini was loose than Bassett, I guess, trying to avoid him, like you said. He just kind of clipped him.
Yeah, he did, and Malini was actually in trouble in the middle of the corner of 3 and 4 because he accidentally clipped the apron, went below the white line, and got a little loose. So he tried to recover the car as best he can, and then got popped by Trevor there.
Yeah. So we get in about 13 laps of green flag racing.
Pit stops. We could see some pit stops here. Some might stay out for some track position. We shall see here, as pit road should be open this time by.
This will give us a good indication of how much tires are really playing a factor. Look at this. We get 1 to 5.
Jonathan Goke.
Big Joe Big Joe Hassard gets left out.
Oh, brother. Yeah, now this is going to be the true form on how tires are going to hold up. About maybe 13, 12 laps on green flag tires here, since we are running under caution right now.
I don't believe this is in the window to get you to the end. I think you can. They figured they can go about 39 laps. That's about 120. Oh, maybe it's close. Maybe it's close to be able to do it from 2 more from here.
It's going to be close for sure. It's definitely going to be a gamble call. But a little update on cars that did stay out. Michael Goodman, Bob Mikes, Dave Barber, Scott Bolster have all decided to stay out under this caution. A bunch of cars stayed out, actually.
Yeah, it looks like the top 8 are going to stay out. Hassard, Goodman, Micus, Barber, Bolster, Wardlow, Tutwiler, Peters. The leaders of all the cars that have come in, it looks like it's the real thing, Jonathan Goke.
I just wonder where he's going to be all settled here, because that's a lot of cars that stayed out.
Yeah, I think about in 9th. Okay, why don't we take this opportunity to maybe give you this week's trivia question, if we can do that. We got to caught the director by surprise. Now, we're going to be monitoring this, and we will have the answer for you at the end of the race. Your trivia here today. Now, you know IndyCar has been coming to Texas Motor Speedway since it opened. Your Round 8 trivia question is, which driver owns an IndyCar victory at Texas and also shares a last name with an Indy 500 winner who he is not related to? There you go. So somebody with the same last name has won at Indy 500 and here, and they're not related. Good luck.
That's a you got me thinking now.
We try to find ones that take a little bit of thought for you guys. We'll have the answer at the very end of the broadcast, a little bit of trick to get you to stick with us and watch the sponsor plugs that make this possible. If that commercial doesn't want to make you go out and buy a pair of those pedals, you need to go see your doctor and have your testosterone level checked. That is one great commercial for one great set of pedals. Okay, we are working lap number 17. They'll be going lap number 18 here at the Texas 200. The top 8 drivers all stayed out. They're on 18 lap older tires than the leader back there, Jonathan Goke, in 9th position of all the cars who did pit. The pace car pulling in. It is Big Joe Hassard out in front. Let's see how that old rubber plays out right now. Pace car is in, and we're ready to go green again as soon as Big Joe gets them going. Boy, he really checks them up. They're all checked up behind him. He gets a good jump. Careful, boys.
Michael Peters hit the wall in the front stretch here. He's really slow, trying to get up the speed. Wow. And they're 3 wide action, 1 and 2 there, and they split up now. Oh, wow. Whew.
We stay under green, but boy, did they get checked up there, but I guess we're okay. Joe Hazard, one of the slower coming to the greens that there could be.
Oh, man, it is a mess where Michael Peters is right now, back there in about 12th position on back. It is just a mess. Drivers are just trying to fit in where the cars will go and try not to hit each other at such a high speed. It is crazy. Everybody's up to speed right now, but that restart definitely checked a lot of guys up.
They're nicely single file up front from all the guys on the old rubber. Jonathan Goke has only been able to make up 1 spot around Ed Tutwiler, who had stayed out, but now he's got clear racing in front of him.
Yeah, you want that clean air so you can maneuver your car where you wish without having the draft be pulling you around or sucking you up to somebody. So Jonathan Goke trying to put those new tires, I shall say, to work.
Riding on board with Bob Micas in the Von Hansen's meet in-car camera. Von Hansen's meet.
Tell you what, if he can get a victory lane today, there's going to be some steaks going to be ordered from Von Hansen's meet, that's for sure.
Well, he already has a win this season, so I guess it wouldn't be a rare event. Now we're looking at this here as Dave Barber puts the car down on the apron, then comes up and keeps it off the wall.
Yeah, he's still running in the 4th spot right now, so he's okay. He does have a little pressure coming from behind from Scott Bolster, who actually came from the 19th spot. I'm sure he stayed under this caution as well. So, but oh man, we're getting tight and close for that 2nd spot up there.
That's the Von Hansen's meat machine trying to work around the outside of Michael Goodman, the rookie. Look at how both lanes are working. He couldn't get it done, just doing a little reconnaissance racing. Meanwhile, out in front, Big Joe Hazard loving the clean air.
Loving the clean air and loving those tires, because those tires are really working with me as he's starting to pull away from the 2nd position. Michael Goodman, the rookie, and here goes Mike's again on the high side, looking. I don't know if he's going to produce anything on this high side or not. Still sticking side by side with him, getting the run off the corner, and that is a tough corner of turn number 2, going for 2nd spot.
That'll probably slow him down a little bit, let some of the other guys get in the party here as they continue to race side by side.
Look at that draft that is being from assistance from Dave Barber back there, drafting with Bob Mikes. That is helping him on the exit of the corner. I don't know if he's going to get there this time by. Looks like Goodman's actually holding on to that spot.
I think Barber might have got a little bit close up in there and got a little bit of a push, had to back out. He's going to lose a spot to Scott Bolster. At least for now, that outside topside seems to get some momentum. The Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, back there for DeMoir's Candy Machine, back there racing in 6th position.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of room on the racetrack to work with as well, not being pressured. Behind him, you got Jason T. Robarge in 7th, being under pressure from Jonathan Goke.
Well, I think the question is answered. The tires are not that big a deal because Goke has not really been able to make much ground up at all with those tires that are a little bit cleaner. Let's drop back to this bee's nest back here. A pinata full of bees, 14th position. Ron Hacker on the inside, Brian Greenlee on the outside in the blue and white machine. Oh, there goes Greenlee down low. Save it. Brian's coming up right in front of everybody. They check up. They get out of the way. Woo!
Oh man, I bet Brian Greenlee had a heart attack in that car. Oh my God, his heart had been racing, trying to keep off of everybody. He's going to take it down pit road for a pit stop.
I don't know if that was his pit entrance. I think he went down low. The car just got in there. Maybe he was bringing it into the pits and it came back up. Hats off to everybody behind that stayed out of the way. They all checked up.
Yeah, that was dodging a bullet right there, because if they would have clipped Greenlee, that would have been big on the racetrack.
Woo!
But I tell you what, one thing that actually separated the hornet's nest.
Yeah. Yeah, that got them separated real nice there with that one. Boy, great job from those guys. Out in front, Big Joe Hazard. Let's check on him again. Here comes Michael Goodman. Looks like he's going to have something for him.
Yeah, he's been gaining on Goodman. He little here and there, staying in his draft. That's helping his car be pulled up right up to Big Joe Hazard. as these guys are coming off turn number 4. Big Joe's going to lead another lap out front. I believe Big Joe is a Wisconsin boy as well.
Says he's from the Midwest, so that's probably the case. We'll actually have him come in the interview, and you guys can talk to each other in Wisconsinese.
I tell you what, those top 2 drivers have pulled away from third place. Bob Mikes and Scott Bolster. Man, I don't know what's up there, Suit. Maybe you can help me figure it out. But Bob Mikes is really choosing that higher line through 1 and 2 for a number of laps now. And he's pretty much doing it again down in 3 and 4. This is going to allow Scott Bolster to try to get side by side with him coming off turn number 4. Not quite there yet, but I've just been noticing Bob Mikes really high above the racetrack. Right about here. He goes really high here. Trying to figure out what's up there.
Loses a little bit of time in the corner, in the middle of the corner, but then he gets a great drive out of it.
He's saving some tires.
Or trying to figure out how to be fast where nobody else is racing.
Oh, we got a yellow.
It looks like it's Jack Bogan involved as he's pinwheeling down the track. He gets collected by Vincent Blumenthal, who goes under him. Other drivers involved, Travis Jagerliner.
We'll bring out our second caution of the evening here tonight at Texas. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
It was Bogan who got up in the wall, came back down into Jagerliner. We're going to go on board with Jagerliner. Ooh. And then maybe we can get one more on board with Vincent Blumenthal, who might actually be an inch or 2 shorter now.
Yep. And then when he stands up, when he gets out of that car and he stands up, he's going to feel 6 inches taller.
Okay, if you're watching this at home, you might want to go on board with Blumenthal. You might want to scooch down in your chair a little bit. Tuck your neck down in between your shoulders because watch out.
Yeah, you hide in your sweatshirt.
Yeah. Okay, so we have our second caution of the evening. Now, this is going to let all those guys, the guys who are running up front, come in for a stop. It'll be interesting to see if the guys who didn't pit the first time decide to come in, guys like Goke.
I tell you what, pit road's probably the busiest place right now, and I hope nobody gets run over down on pit road because it is so busy. Everybody, the entire field is on pit road. Big Joe Hazard leads them off.
So that worked out for Big Joe. He stayed out there, got some track position. I would have thought that his tank would have been a little bit emptier than the rest of these guys, that it might have cost him some time filling it up, but he goes in first. He comes out first. Goodman back there in second. Scott Bolster in third. Bob Mikes. These were all the guys who were running up front.
Looks like track position's definitely going to be very key here at Texas because Big Joe Hazard actually got that race lead before the first caution, and he just stayed out, and he's able to hold on to the lead as well. So track position, to me, with the way it's sounding here, is it's going to be the biggest key of this race.
Let's go ahead now and talk about the points battle that we have if we take into account the dropped races. This is what you can see coming up here in just a second. We have a graphic board. Now, what you'll see that's interesting is that unlike what we did when we did the raw points that had Kinsella way out in front, well, when you take into account the drop races, look who you see in the lead. It is Dandy Dan Guerin. He is going to be one of the drivers we're going to highlight here in a little while. Kinsella only a couple points back. Now, Jonathan Goke for Hashtag Nailed It. Remember, he was in 9th place. He's had some horrible results, one of them being a no-show. You get to wipe that away and a couple other bad results, and when you take into account the 3 races you can throw away, look for him in 3rd. Ryan Otis up a spot in 4th as well. Yeah, it shows a red arrow there, but compared up a spot in comparison to the raw numbers. So there you have it. Michael Gray, who you saw, was up in 5th position, I think, in the raw numbers, sitting down there in 10th. So that gets you an idea of where they stand if they were going to hand out the trophies tonight, which fortunately they are not. For all of you fans, we have a full season of Lionheart IndyCar Series scheduled to bring to you here on the Global Sim Racing Channel all season long.
So much tremendous action in that entire season of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. In my opinion, the biggest IndyCar series on iRacing altogether. And these guys are going to come off turn number 4 here. We should see, though, 1 to go signal this time by. Let's see if the pace car lights here would turn off. That would give the driver the indication it's a 1 to go.
Usually when GSRC covers a series, the series organizers are always coming to us and saying, mention also that you can join this series. They're always looking for new members. And while the Lionheart IndyCar Series is also looking for new members, it's a very exclusive club. They are full up and they will let people come in. You gotta come in. They have a hazing ritual. They make you there's all sorts of, they give you a test feats of strength you have to do, and then maybe if everyone likes you, they will let you race. This is a close-knit bunch of guys. And as proven by, here we are in round number 8, and we have 38 of the 42 eligible drivers are here tonight. They show up every week on these Wednesday nights.
And it's certainly a tremendous race. I mean, I've had the opportunity many times to sit down here at the house here and watch these guys on the Global Sim Racing channel turning laps. And these guys put on such a fantastic show each and every race. I like the Milwaukee Mile races, me personally, and the Road America that these guys go to. But now Pace Car is going to come down pit road, and we are going to unleash these bad boys once again with Big Joe Hazard on the top of the board. He gets on a loud pedal this time by, and he gets a nice jump. We're back racing at Texas.
Working lap number 38. So far, Joe Hazard has been the leader of the majority of the running right now. Michael Goodman has been following him around. Scott Bolster, Bob Mikas, and there's Jake Wright, the defending champion. Now we see him back up where we thought we might.
Yeah, in the top 5, that's for sure. As he actually started from the pole, led 1 lap, and that was the first lap. He hasn't led since, but he might lead the last one, which is the lap that counts.
We got a report from James Paulson that Stouffer is warping. That's Chris Stouffer is blinking in and out. So that's something Stouffer says, I'll do what I can with it. Hopefully it'll go away, but that gives everybody the notice to don't get too close to Chris there. He might disappear on you.
Yeah, Chris Stouffer in the 20th position right now. He's got some pretty clean traffic around him, just a car behind him and 2 cars ahead of him, not really around him. He seems pretty stabilized at the moment, but he's doing everything he can just pretty much to stay out of harm's way until everything clears up.
Running in 19th position right now. Coming off a big win just last week. The first jewel of the Lionheart Triple Crown at Pocono. Let's go to 8th position real quick, directors. Got a bad feeling here. Leading the pack is Dan Guerin, but they're coming. Pierre Nightingale behind them. They are 2x2 back there. That's the blue and yellow machine of KGET. That's of course, Jason Galvin. And then Dave Barber making a run as well.
Yeah, all these guys are actually really close together, and it's actually the closest side-by-side racing on the racetrack at the moment with a big pack of cars. So this is where the big-time action is at the moment.
James Krahula up in the standings right now, winning in the raw numbers. 2nd place in the drop race standings is right behind. He's in that white car. Woo!
Man, who was that?
Brian
Yazik, yeah.
Brian Yazik in the blue and white machine just about got into the tail end of him. Now that's Dave Barber in that yellow spoked car up on the top side.
Yeah, that was very close down in turn number 1 that time by, and Yazik was able to recover from that, still keeping in the tracks on the bottom side.
That racing probably the most intense on the track right now. Nothing going on up front. They still race in order. Hazard, Mikas, Goodman. Well, Mikas has got around Goodman, I guess.
A lot of these guys have started mid-pack, back of the pack. Oh, whoa, close racing there where Dave Barber was at on the high side. Almost made contact there with, I believe, Tony Schoen.
Yeah, this is where the fans have pointed their binoculars right now. Settling down a little bit. That was Barber.
Barber reacted to Schoen's a little movement there.
Schoen got a little bit loose, and Barber had to move up to get out of the way.
Oh my gosh. And we're on replay now, but there was just some 3-wide action. Here's a replay of the reaction from Barber.
And that's what led up to the excitement there that Tanner saw, which continues right now. If we come back live to Barber, he's in the mix going. That's the gray car underneath. That's your point leader, Kinsella. Watching the whole thing back there, Tony Showen. 2 more cars in the mix. Stouffer, and that kind of blue machine back there is Ron Hacker.
Kinsella picks up another spot. That'll move Kinsella up. And yeah, you mentioned Ron Hacker trying to do everything he can to recover from this race after starting in 3rd.
Stay on that. Big Joe still leading. Nothing going on there.
And it looked like Hacker was going to get cut off there, but he actually who was that forgiving there? That was Chris Stouffer pretty much forgiving there.
Oh, I hear trouble somewhere.
Edwins, maybe? Edwins is in the wall.
Yep. Edwins is in the wall once, twice, 3 times. The car goes up. He's sideways on the wall.
Oh, my gosh. This might, I don't know. If he gets off the track and just continues to go straight, it will not bring out a caution. He's actually on the apron side of the racetrack. He's actually going to tow it right now. And since he's off the racing surface, it is not going to bring out a caution.
The car kept going, pointed in the right direction, even though it was 90 degrees perpendicular to the track.
Yeah. If it doesn't go completely sideways, it does not throw the iRacing caution. So, with that being said, we stay green, and somebody is blinking up towards there. I believe it wasn't Stouffer, though. It was actually Tony Showen actually blinked.
All right, let's go in. Our director's already reading my mind, checking back in on the leaders. There you have Big Joe Hassard still out in front. Goodman behind him. And I think that Goodman might be looking to see if he can test the top side. What I think Michael is thinking right now is it really doesn't matter. There are no points for most laps led. And if I get around you, I'm not going to go anywhere. You're just going to stick with me, and I'm just going to burn up more fuel. So, Big Joe, if you're happy to go out there and lead, I'll just follow you around right now. Jonathan Goat, remember we saw him. He made that early stop and fell back. Then all this thing got wiped clean when we had that second yellow. Well, now he's running in 3rd position. Micus and Robarge side by side behind him in 4th position. We ride on board right now with Micus in the Von Hansen meat car. You can see that rainbow machine there of Robarge underneath him.
This is some tremendous camera work done right here as that's close side-by-side racing. Now, these two guys, Robarge and Mike's, have been trading places the last couple laps now. So, and Mike's might come back underneath him to go for another pass. Yes, he does, trading back and forth.
And Michael Peters just bounced it off the wall. Came across the apron onto the grass, keeps it going straight, but I think the car is a little skinnier than it was a few seconds ago.
Just a tick, and it does not bring out a caution flag, and he actually hit the wall earlier on the front stretch on the first restart of the night. So Michael Peters on the apron of the racetrack, out of harm's way, still green flag.
No fast repairs here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. You break it, you bought it. This is big boy racing.
Definitely big boy racing with such high rate of speed. One thing they ain't got to worry about is the G-forces, like we mentioned there, Soup.
Let's go. We're looking at that 4th position. This fight continues. It broke off for a minute. Micah's got behind. And again, Micah seems to like the high side. Oh, we got a wreck. It's Galvin. No, it's not. It is Brian Yosick just in front of Galvin. Yasic is over on his lid, rolling through the grass. Pinwheeling through the grass on his noggin. Now, It was right next to Galvin. This Galvin in the blue and yellow car. You can see that he gets in the wall. Everybody does a good job of getting around him, and then that's it for Yasic.
You want to know what's weird about that wreck, Soup, is if you really look closely, the two cars don't really touch, but Yazik's car reacts as if it was touched. So that's kind of indicating to me a bubble effect.
Yeah. Ghost contest, the ghost contact, net lag, whatever you like to call it. Brian Yazik, of course, was our driver in our video guide to how to get around this place. He left that part out.
And he tumbled down that front stretch there through the grass. Pretty much got mud on his helmet there.
So another top name is out of the running.
Pit road should be opening up this time by. We could see some drive. I assume every single driver is going to come down pit road here. That was a pretty good green flag stint to stay out. So the drivers are expected to come down pit road, and it's led by Big Joe Hazard.
22 laps on that stint. And I need to correct myself. There are bonus points for leading a lap and leading most laps. So this might be something that Michael Peters, who stays out, is he on the lead lap? He is not.
Oh yeah, I think he's down a couple of laps. Or actually down at least a lap.
Big Joe Hazard, once again, first into pit lane, first out of pit lane. Goodman and Goke following, Robarge and Bob Mikas round out your top five. If you're watching the Global Sim Racing channel, we're going to go to break. We'll be back before we go green. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Texas 200 in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, round number 8 of 24 on the Season 5 calendar. Right now it is Big Joe Hazard. He's been out in front for a while. We are under caution, working lap number 16, about to go green. And Big Joe, who's been leading most of the way, is going to take them down into the first corner. Being stalked by the same driver who's been behind him for most of the race, and that is Michael Goodman. Pace car is in.
And we're green. Big Joe Hazard down in turn number 1, gets a huge jump on everybody else. First side by side, I'm seeing back there. Actually, that all got stretched out just a little bit. But Big Joe Hazard leads Michael Goodman, Jonathan Goke, Jason Robarge, and Bob Mikes, the top 5. Oh, man, Robarch got pinched and almost hit in the apron entering turn number 3. Look at this, nose to tail from first on back. They're all over each other, Soup.
Hazard trying to protect the inside, hugging the inside like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. Not going to surrender that. Robarge back there looking for somewhere to go. Goke now in second position. He moves to the outside just in front of Goodman.
Holy cow, and we might have a battle for the lead before we even say it. Goke is all over the back bumper of Big Joe Hazard, trying to find a way to get around him. Nothing producing yet. But Goodman, man, wow, that's some really close racing. I thought Goke and Goodman were going to touch last time by entering turn number 3.
Hazard has been having the friendly car behind him of Goodman the whole time. That's not what Goke is. The Tutwiler, Ed Tutwiler's in the wall. Is this going to bring out the yellow? He's turned backwards.
Yep, yellow's out.
Tutwiler got it just in front of Vincent Blumenthal. The car just got loose, and you see him take it up there, smack it off the wall, come down to the inside wall, hit the safer barrier, loop the car around, facing the wrong direction. That brings out the yellow.
4th yellow this evening here at Texas. Ed Tutwiler gets him to the wall off of turn number 2, and that's where that is a common corner for any kind of series that runs here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Hits the inside wall pretty good and backs up right onto the racetrack to bring out the 4th caution.
So the runners up front. Right now it is Big Joe Hazard, Michael Goodman, Goke, Robarge, and running in, Bob Mikas running in 5th position.
I'm not going to expect anybody to come down pit road this time by, since it was a very short green flag stint at the moment. If anybody's going to come down pit road, it could be some guys towards the back of the pack, which would make sense at the moment, in my opinion. So far, nobody's down pit road. The only kind of a possibility, there is a car down pit road, the number 81 machine. That is Taylor on pit road. And I believe the number 35 machine is on pit road as all, and that is Collins. Rory Collins, yep. Patrick Taylor, the only 2 cars to head down pit road.
One driver that is not coming in is our spotlighted driver today. That is Dandy Dan Guerin, Dave and Penny's baby boys. We'll bring up that. You can see some of the stats for him. This is his 65th career start. He's got 5 wins. That ties him for 4th on the all-time list. You know, he's 2nd place right now in raw points, but he is 1st in the drop point standings. And he has a win this season at Motegi. 3 poles, we talked about that, but he's at all on ovals. He didn't have one here today. What a lot of people don't know about Dandy Dan is he is an amateur alchemist, and he's been working in his garage and claims he is very close to being able to transmute lead into gold. So there you have it.
Yeah, definitely. And his laps led so far this season in this series in season 5 so far is 289 laps led, and that is a lot of laps led just in the first 8 races of this series, with an average starting position of a 2nd.
Wow. And you were also talking about the man who's really been the class of the show. Let's talk a little bit about Big Joe Hazard, who's been out there. And this one's kind of a nice reward for him, because Big Joe hasn't really had it his way so far this season.
He hasn't, and I know Big Joe Hazard's a big IndyCar guy and all that. I've raced with him on the stock car portion side, and I've seen him also majority of the time running IndyCars, especially the Lionheart IndyCar series. And this season hasn't been too kind to him, with a best finish so far is a 13th and only 7 laps led. And those 7 laps led came out at the first race of the season at the Homestead Miami Speedway. And he's only got one top 10 finish, actually. So 10th would be his best finish of the season, which happened at Homestead. And he hasn't been doing too good since. He's got 3 DNFs with an average finish of a 22nd. But it is so good to see Big Joe Hazard running up front, leading a bunch of these laps, and in possible contention on winning this race.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Andrew Kinsella. Now, he's your raw points leader, sitting 2nd if you take into account drop races. And, what's interesting is that Texas, he just won a few days ago in the Indy Elite Series at Indianapolis. They have a race there in that series. And of course, coming up in a few months, in just over a month, is the second jewel of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Triple Crown. That is, of course, the actual 500 miles that's going to be raced on a Sunday at Indianapolis. And more about Havakech Kinsella. You know what? He's the only driver who has completed every lap so far this season. 699 laps coming into this race. And I bet you guys didn't know that the Ironman winner at the end of the season will win a custom-built button box with 11 buttons.
Wow, that is a lot of buttons.
There are some serious prizes going on in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. The lights are off the pace car. It's negotiating its way through corner number 4. We're working lap number 67, maybe lap number 68 when the pace car comes into pit lane. The pace car peels, and so does the thunder of the engines as Big Joe Hazard leads them across the line, working lap 68.
Man, that pace car exits towards pit road, and Big Joe Hazard is gone. Big Joe Hazard, very nice restart once again over Michael Goodman, Jonathan Goke, Jason Robarge, and Bob Mikes, rounding out your top 5. Oh, challenge for the lead. Goodman on the high side. Side by side for second, but I tell you what, they might split 3 wide and 1. Oh, Goke had a checkup. Wow.
Goodman fends him off. Goodman now running in second place. Big Joe Hazard stays out in front. It's a totally different situation from Hazard and Goodman running together. When Goke gets in the mix, things are a lot more intense. Here comes Goodman now taking a peek on the top side.
And we've seen that top side work before, but right now I don't think Goodman's going to get the run on the exit of the corner to get to Big Joe Hazard right there, right then. Not yet. But Joe Hazard in defense mode, protecting that race lead. And I tell you what, whenever Jonathan Goke, as I see in this race, wherever he is, business picks up. And this is the business has picked up for the race lead since the drop of the green flag. Goodman on the high side, Goke on the bottom. Goke decides to go to the bottom of turn 1 and 2. Exit of turn 2 now, side by side for second. Drafting off of Big Joe Hazard, entering turn 3.
I think Big Joe Hazard is perfectly fine to have Michael Goodman race that top line, because what it does, it leaves Goke nowhere to go. Goke has to check up. Now here comes the rainbow machine of Jason Robarge getting into the mix.
Oh boy, that rainbow machine's entering the picture, and we got another driver that's entering the picture right behind the rainbow machine, and I believe that is Jake Wright, our pole sitter.
Big Joe Hazard continuing to cover the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Goodman nowhere to go right now. He's going to try it one more time up top. That leaves nowhere for Jonathan Real Thing Goke to go. He can get maybe tuck in on the inside of Goodman, but that doesn't leave him any room after that. He doesn't want to get boxed in. He goes in, tucks back in behind Goodman. Robarge and Wright in the popcorn position, watching the show. Now here he comes. Does he have a run on the inside? We're talking about Goke this time. Not going to do it. Let's see what he does. Looking for a way around Goodman.
Oh yeah, looking for a way, getting side by side, entering turn 1 and 2. They are side by side now. Off the exit of turn number 2, still side by side. Ooh, doing a little side drafting Goke is. Nothing producing there for him as he falls back to third place.
Hazard continues to keep the car close to the white line, does not want to surrender the inside.
Doesn't want to surrender the inside, and as it's looking, the inside is the fastest way around the racetrack. That is really true pretty much on the stock car side and IndyCar side of the portion, as Big Joe Hazard still in defense mode. Jonathan Goke doing everything he can to get the second spot away from Michael Goodman, and he's really having a hard time getting that second spot.
This time Goodman lays back a little bit to get a better run onto Hazard coming into the corner. Oh, he pushes up. Now that's going to leave the opening here. Watch, Goke is going to tuck up. Now the situation's going to be a little bit different.
Goke's going to go after that race lead now. I can bet money on that one right there. Michael Goodman, the rookie, in third place, falls to third now. Jason Robarge is trying to do everything he can to gain on Goodman. Let's see what Goke can produce on the race leader of Big Joe Hazard.
Gulk was a real threat to be the champion in the championship hunt last season, but he had to step away because of his military obligations. We don't think that's going to be the case this season, at least we hope not. Jonathan, we hope you can stay with us the whole time. Not that we don't salute you for keeping us all safe, but we love you here with us. Right now, I don't know if Joe Hazard would ditto my sentiments there. He would probably like to see maybe go get a sign somewhere in Guam, because right now he is pestering Big Joe.
Pestering, but Big Joe is just keeping him in his tracks. He ain't going to let Big Joe Hazard just get away from him. So Gulk is still hunting. He's just sniffing at that race lead and just breathing down the neck of Big Joe Hazard. And Big Joe Hazard, he feels it. He actually really felt it when it was a side-by-side action between Goodman and Gulk.
Love that Dougie Beard camera angle where they come right at you. It really gives you an idea of how close the racing is. Now moving up to P6 is the man from Bacon of Jason Galvin, but now he's lost that position to Bob Mikas. Mikas racing out there in the Van Hansen meat machine, Galvin in the blue and yellow KGET car. Also in the mix up there, watch out for the team hashtag nailed it car of Dandy Dan Guerin.
He's on the high side now. He's trying to get the run on the exit of the corner. He does get a nice little run off the exit of the corner. Goes towards the high side on Jason Galvin there. Oh, he's trying to keep with him, and he does keep with him.
Oh, they touch!
Contact!
Galvin's in trouble. He's got it. Can he save it? The car is perpendicular where it's supposed to go. Is it going to bring out the yellow? The car did not come all the way around. Caution. I think we stay under green. No, now we get the caution.
Oh,
we were on it. That was...
Wow. Now, Dan Guerin, he got a run off turn number 2, and it was a tremendous run. But I think they got a little too close and just clipped the right side of the door right there, or what you want to call it there, and it really sent him around. Really, wow, so close and hitting the inside wall. I don't think he hit it.
If you were an RT judge, you'd be saying, well, did Jason Galvin come up on Guerin? Did Guerin squeeze him? That's for people who get paid a little bit more than we do to decide.
I don't know if we're able to get it. I was wondering if we can get a good camera angle on that safer barrier that he almost hit towards the inside wall, and how close it was. Because if he would have hit that, that impact could have launched him up towards the racetrack and collected other cars, as cars are now entering pit road right now.
And they come in, and of course it's Big Joe Hazard out there. Now staying out, did I see Bob Mikas staying out?
You are right. The Von Hansen's on board here. Bob Mikas staying out.
Well, if you know anything about Von Hansen's meat, you can go in there and get some rare cuts of meat down there. I don't know if you can actually buy beaver meat or whatever they'll dress up whatever you hunt. I don't know if you can actually buy it from them. But right now, making a rare cut is Bob Mikas staying out, deciding that this is the way to go. Scott Bolster agrees with him. So does the racing guitar player in the lock position machine, Dave Barber.
Here's our replay here that we could see with right here. Galvin. Now he's gonna get clipped. And what I want to point out is you see all the time on iRacing guys hitting the inside wall. Look how close he comes. He does not hit that safer barrier there, and it ends towards the middle of the back straightaway. And he actually, altogether, he missed that inside wall. And if he would have hit that inside wall with heavy impact, it would have launched him up towards the racetrack. Here's a good camera angle. Right there is what I'm talking about. That safer barrier just misses it. And if he would have hit that, it would have launched him towards the racetrack and may have collected others. So I, at the same time, I want to say that's tremendous driving by Jason Galvin on trying to keep that off the wall. So great driving.
If you talk to Jason in the post-race interview, he'll tell you it was all skill. He was managing the throttle there, keeping it off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It looked a little more like the car just happened to not get there. Just teasing you, Jason.
Oh, Oh, believe me, that was all skill. In my opinion, I've seen so many times, whether it was in a stock car or an Indy car, guys getting together off of turn number 2 and hit that inside wall. They would hit the wall with such impact, man. It would just fly them right onto the racetrack, and that was just tremendous driving right there by Galvin.
Hearing from Michael, the racing kangaroo, Michael Gray, that he just got confirmation from his spotters that he does have some damage on the car.
Now, we just talked about Jason Galvin, though, too, here. He's up there in the 9th position. I believe he just stayed out under this caution to get that track position back.
Dave Barber and Michael Gray. Michael asked Dave if you could look at my car, and Dave said, drive around a little bit. It looks good from this angle.
Lights are off, so we're gonna get the one. So we have the one to go signal. Next time by at the start finish line, we're gonna take the green flag. Let's kind of give you a little bit of an update here on those pit stops here. Big Joe Hazard is the freshest guy on tires. He's in 10th position. Jonathan Goke is in 11th. Michael Goodman in 12th. Jason Robarge in 13th, and pole sitter Jake Wright in 14th. And Dan Guerin, who made contact with Jason Galvin, is running in the 15th position. So those are the guys who came down pit road to get some four fresh Mr. Feelgoods on those things. As Bob Mike, Scott Bolster, Dave Barber, Michael Gray, Ryan Otis, Vincent Bludenthal, George Anzaldo, Dustin Wardlow, and Jason Galvin all on older tires, and Jason Galvin getting those track position back by staying out, as we're going to come and take the green flag, Soup.
This is the first time we've seen Big Joe in any real dirty air back there. He is leading all the cars that did come in for tire stop. We'll see what he can do back there, see if he's just as good in the air that is spinning around than the air that is calm. Bob Mikas leads them across the start-finish line, working lap 86. We are well past the halfway mark. 48 to go.
Single file racing pretty much throughout the racetrack right now. The first side-by-side battle that took place entering turn number 1 was Dustin Wardlow and Jason Galvin. Big Joe Hazard's right behind him, defending from...
Let's go to the lead. Here we go.
Oh, Big Joe turned around by Jonathan Goke. This brings out another caution.
And that is Dave Barber just made the pass for the lead. Yep, Hazard turned around. And, you know, we talked about Goke and how Hazard didn't enjoy him being behind him. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying, Goke turned Hazard.
Yeah, it looked like Goke made a late decision entering turn number 3. And Big Joe Hazard was pretty much already committed on that bottom side of the racetrack and got tagged by Goke, which sent him around into the outside wall. There's going to be some damage on Big Joe Hazard's car, but nice job by everybody else on avoiding Big Joe.
And it looks like iRacing is going to award Dave Barber the pass. He was out in front. I guess they do it. It was certainly not at who was leading the last time around. It must have been who was out in front when the yellow flag came out, and the iRacing stewards have decided that it is Dave Barber got around Bob Mikas. What we'll do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break, but we'll be back before we go green. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. It's the Texas 200, round 8 of 24 on the Season 5 calendar. If you want to do well in a Global Sim Racing Channel broadcasted race, what you need to do is find yourself, become the sponsor of either our Countdown to Green or our Courseways show, because that's certainly the case right now, as Dave Barber out there in the Lock Precision Machine, the sponsor of our GSRC post-race show, and Bob Mikas in the Von Hansen's Meats, the sponsor of Countdown to Green. They run 1-2 right now.
Pace cars in. Dave Barber on the loud pedal of these Indy cars. We're back green here at Texas Motor Speedway. Bob Mikas is in second. Third place, Scott Bolster is in third. That's the top three. It looks like the top three is actually going to break away a little bit, but there is a Hornet's Nest where Robarge is at.
Back in about 11th position. Robarge on the high side right now. Jake Wright gets under him. Pierre Nightingale gets under him. Now trying to make under him, that's Kinsella in the gray machine. Robarge losing spots left and right. There comes underneath now one more time trying to get low. That's Chris Stouffer. Oh, and we have a pass for the lead as the meat machine is out in front. Bob Mikas ahead of the Rocket, which has fallen back to third. Dave Barber, second place now, Scott Bolster. Dave Barber in a battle for third, working on the inside of him in that white car. That is Ryan Otis.
Bunch of new names up towards the front here, Soup, since the drop of the green flag. Oh, man! Who almost hit the wall off turn number 2 there? That was the white car there, who was that, Otis?
Otis running third. Now watch behind him.
Yikes.
On the top side in the yellow car, that is the Racing Kangaroo Michael Gray. Went around Barber, who is dropping like a pigeon right now.
Yeah, Barber's in trouble.
Oh, spinning balloon.
Huge accident on the backstretch. Car open.
Barrel rolling down. Michael Goodman involved in it. The other blue car out there, that's Jonathan Goke. Well, if the racing gods wanted to hand out a little bit of justice, Goke got loose, and he gets really tangled up. Some cars went directly underneath Goke. Remember, Goke was involved in that incident with Joe Hazard just a few laps ago.
George Zaldo accidentally clicked Goke there. He actually got on the loud horn there on the brakes to avoid Goke before even making 100% contact with them. Man, Michael Green goes for a ride down towards the inside wall.
And that was going directly underneath the car that got airborne was Jason Robarge. Look at that. There's a great camera shot on George Anzaldo looking back at it. Now we're going to go on board with it. Once again, scoot down in your chair. Get your shoulders tucked, or your head tucked in between your shoulders. It's going to happen fast. There it is, and duck.
Wow. Oh, man. Director, is there an onboard of Jake Wright there?
We'll go one more here. We're going to look at Jake Wright.
Let's go one more up closer to the wreck here, Soup. Watch this. It's going to happen right off turn number 2 right here. Wreck's happening in front of you. Where do you go? Outside wall.
Wow.
Woo!
That's how you win a championship. Okay, pit lane is open. There are a lot of takers.
Oh, yeah, definitely a lot of takers on pit road. We got majority of the field on pit road with the exception of Michael Gray, Jason Galvin, James Krahula, and that Jonathan Goke.
Of course, James Krahula. For James, this is his home track. He actually comes and watches many races here during the year.
Yeah, I seen on his Facebook page. He's at the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series here in the new configuration of Texas, which, by the way, Soup, is going to be very interesting when IndyCar comes here on that new configuration in real life.
I'm looking forward to it. Anything that shakes up the racing a little bit, makes them work a little harder, I'm all for it, and it gets us less... Because Charlotte and Atlanta, at least it separates them a little bit from that one, makes it a little more different.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of racing room for those guys in the Indy cars, too, because the way how wide turn 1 and 2 is now with the lower degree of banking. Jonathan Goke's going to hit pit road this time by. Get some damage repairs.
So let's just follow up on the two drivers that were in it. Where's Big Joe Hazard? Was his day over, or is he still out there? Big Joe is done. And I got to be thinking that Goke, I guess he's going to be able to race that car, but I don't know how.
I don't know, but he's on pit road. They are currently working on it, Soup. So once right now he's got time to work on it. Pace car is coming off of turn number 2, so they got time to work on that car to beat out any kind of damage to get that thing running comfortably for Goke. James Krahula is currently saving fuel right now. What do you think there, Soup? You did mention that you don't think they can make it to the end.
Well, if they get enough yellows, they can. He's out there for him, and it looks like Jason Galvin are in the same strategy now. Is Galvin on the out? They are. They've been out there for 7, let's call it 8 laps when they come across here. That means that they have about 29 more to go. 37. That means they would have to go 45 laps on one tank. We thought they could go 39. But you got these yellow flags.
Yeah, and the more you could probably save gas in an IndyCar, you can save fuel a lot more quickly in these IndyCars here. So, with that being said, we have the 1-to-go signal right now, so the saving is going to have to stop as these drivers get down in turn number 3. And sometimes, if you can save, you do save a lot of fuel if you're on the apron of the racetrack, though, too.
Looking for drivers that are on that strategy. Those are
Galvin
them, I think. Yeah. Galvin and Krahula.
Let's see. We're going to be coming to 100 laps in about 2 laps from now. So with that being said, the rest of the field can make it. Galvin, Krahula, I don't think cannot, and we know Michael Gray cannot. It's been a number of laps since Michael Gray has at least visited pit road.
Now these are fixed setups, so they're not able to dial down the fuel mixture. If you want to save fuel, you got to do it with your right foot, basically.
Pretty much. So Michael Gray is going to be out front. He's going to lead these guys to the green flag here. It's been a number of laps, about at least 40 laps, since Michael Gray has visited the pit road.
Now the car that is 4th in line, he is several laps down. That's Brian Greenlee. Don't get confused with him.
Green flag is back out. Michael Gray on the loud pedal. Jason Galvin, James Krahula, the top 3 is out there. Bob Mikas in 4th. Rounding out your top 5 is Ryan Otis. Battle for 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, how much of a battle is it going to be right now? I'm almost thinking if I'm Galvin, or if I'm even these leaders, let's let some of these guys get around me. This is the car moving into 2nd. This is James Krahula.
Going around Jonathan Goke off turn number 4. They actually caught Goke at a perfect time, actually. But here we go, and I believe that's Krahula up to 2nd place, working on Michael Gray, followed closely by Jason Galvin.
Remember, Goke is 2 laps down, and that car clearly off the pace right now.
Pretty much logging laps from here for Goke.
So up in front, Krahula on the inside of Galvin right now. The Racing Kangaroo out in front.
Yeah, and this is pretty much the biggest battle on the racetrack that's going back and forth. There is a battle back there, I believe, for the 6th spot. Dave Barber underneath, who got really loose off turn 4 earlier in a 3-wide situation. He's trying to come back.
That's Dave Barber, who had a win stolen from him a few races back, looking to come back on it right now. Otis on the outside. They kind of race in diamond formation. Bolster on the inside. Greenlee several laps down out there, not really part of the mix. Here comes Otis again in the white car underneath. These guys got to get in line to get up with the guys up in front of them. They can get back behind Bob Mikas. He can be like a stepping stone to pull them up to the leaders.
It could be a stepping stone as well. And plus, sometimes you're carrying so much speed when you're trying to get side by side with somebody like that and you're trading positions off. That can make you pretty fast, too. I've seen a lot of guys do that at like plate tracks, for example, Daytona and Talladega, except there's no plate on those. Oh, no! Otis got turned! Big caution is out.
Barber got into him. Barber ended up in the wall. Great driving to get around him was Bolster. Also, Greenlee did a great job of getting around. Watching from above, the dark car is Barber. That's Otis on the inside. Everybody avoids the issue. Some drivers went through the grass.
Wow, that would be some pretty cool onboards right there from, I believe, Bolster and who else avoided him there?
I don't know how much avoiding was it. The car was just pointed in the right direction. Watch this. We're right on board with Bolster now. You can see Barber get into him and sees this part. One goes through the grass, one goes through the wall. Jake Wright would be fun. He decided just to get the heck out of Dodge. Okay, we're going to look at Wright after we take these pit stops now. This is good news for the guys up front that were needed that yellow flag. This is a little bit more for them.
This is definitely a little bit more for them, too. This is going to give those guys an opportunity to save some more fuel. And, by the way, and it looks like Michael Gray, it's been a long time since he pitted, so I believe he's going to take pit road right now. But if anything, Jason Galvin and Carrillo are going to stay out, and they are going to take the race lead.
Yeah, the Racing Kangaroo had no chance to finish. He was Cinderella, just staying late at the ball right now. Well, Cinderella has a curfew, and it's right now, so the Kangaroo is in. But that's not the case for Galvin and it was Micus. It's Galvin and it's Krahula. I'm sorry, it's Galvin and Krahula that are on this long stint. They have about 6 extra laps than Micus and Bolster. Going to take a look at a few more replays here. We're going to watch, I think, on board with Jake Wright, who just decided to crank it to the left, go across the grass to avoid all the nonsense. And he almost finds, I think it's Barber who ends up down there when he ends up on the grass. Watch this. He sees the smoke. He says, okay, I will just get down here, get out of the way. Everything should be fine. And there's the car coming across the grass in front of him. But he's able to get it going. That's how you win championships. One more from Vincent Blumenthal. Right through the smoke.
You know,
that was a good camera angle.
You know, there is a incident limit in this series, and if you have 0 incidents, you can go through the grass, and when you hit the grass in any kind of series, it is times 1x. Goes towards your incident cap, and what a way to at least take an incident cap there is by going through the grass to avoid a 4x.
Talking about that, Michael Goodman is leading in the cleanest driver award. Goodman has incurred only 7 incidents for the entire 7 races. 7 incidents, 7 races. You don't have to be a genius in math. No, that's an average of 1 per race. The director was kind enough to put the camera on the car that looks like that as I'm talking about it.
All right.
Thanks for that, Amjad.
Jason Gallo and James Carrillo, as you said, their soup has been about 6 laps, 6 laps a pit cycle between the Bob Micus on back to Jason Gallo and James Carrillo. It's been about 18 laps since those guys visited pit road, and we have 27 laps to go. These guys have had 8 cautions for 35 laps. So the top 2 guys are really on the borderline on whether they're going to make it on fuel or not. So this is actually right now under these caution flags. The more we have them from 27 laps or 26 laps right now at the line, here on out, the more cautions we run, the more it's going to help out those top 2 guys. So let's just hope they don't run out on the last lap or anything like that. So that would be heartbreaking.
I think they're good to go now. I can't imagine. They're pretty sharp guys. I couldn't imagine them doing this strategy and expecting any more yellow flag laps than we're getting right now. So something tells me they've got to be doing the math, and they're pretty happy about it.
Yeah, and the pace laps here at Texas, I believe, are only 60, 70 miles an hour around this track. And right now we got the 1-to-go signal, so you're really saving a lot of fuel right now under these caution flags.
And, of course, the Racing Kangaroo was trying to do the same thing, but they're on the metric system down there in Australia, so that's probably what confused him about that wasn't going to work. And we look for the Racing Kangaroo right now. Where is he sitting after he was pitting from the lead down in 18th?
They had gone all that track position, too. But nonetheless, Jason Galvin's going to come and bring these boys to green. He will be the control car. Pace car is going to make a hard left towards pit road again. Jason Galvin, James Krahula, Bob Mikas, Scott Bolster, Pierre Digel. Green flag, we're back racing at Texas.
Working lap number 109. 25 to go. Jason Galvin out in front of James Krahula. I think they are good to go on fuel right now. As they start to open up a bit of a gap, how about a half second back to the Von Hansen meat machine of Bob Mikas?
Oh, man, and that was going to be a battle for the race lead. I was just going to say single file except the two cats out front. But there is a little battle where Robarge is at right now. But we do have a battle for the race lead trying to heat up. James Krahula wants that high side off the run off of turn number 2. Ain't going to happen. Going to look towards the inside possibly. Yes, he will. Battle for the race lead.
The Bakerfield driver leaves the inside open, and James Krahula steps right through and is going to get credit for leading lap number 110. But, hey, the KGET machine ducks back on the inside, and they get that done. I almost wonder if they're not trying to work out some type of choreography here. If they can swap positions back and forth, maybe they can keep this a 2-car battle instead of a 20-car battle.
Fans got up on their feet and started taking photography there as those two cars swap for the race lead coming towards the start-finish line there as James Krahula, who is from Texas and comes to this facility every single year for pretty much every event that is held here, as he is battling for the race lead and got a shot to win this race.
Watching the whole thing happen back there, Bob Mikas. Mikas, remember, already has a win, picked up his first win ever a few races ago.
He does, as right now he's actually gaining on the leaders along with Scott Bolster.
And they have distanced themselves. Robarge back in 5th, Daigle, Otis. Yeah, they're racing, but they're not getting there. Kinsella in 8th.
Kinsella, yeah, we haven't talked about him much there, Soup. After starting 30th, a point leader, and he's in the top 10.
There are no hard charger awards, but he is it right now.
Oh, yeah. Vincent Blumenthal, you mentioned earlier, started 37th. He's back there in 13th. Looks like James Krahula is doing everything he can to, I don't know if he's attempting to pass or just kind of break the draft a little bit.
They better be careful because there are some guys that are coming back there. Jake Wright in the mix a little farther back. Seems to have that car racing pretty well. But right now, Galvin and Krahula are happy where they are. About a half-second lead over Mikas and Bolster.
Dan Guerin on back, along with Tony Schoen side-by-side as a Hornet's Nest side-by-side battle. Pretty much the biggest battles on the racetrack, as these guys have been close a couple of times. Right now, giving each other plenty of room side-by-side action.
We ride back there, looking at Schoen. We move up to 7th position. This is the gray car of Kinsella making a move on Robarge. These guys continue to fight. The guy that is not in the picture right there is just back. He's a coming, and that is Ryan Otis. I think he might be the fastest out there. And they're getting very loose in front. That is the yellow car. That was Daigle who got loose. Give that spot to Ryan Otis. One more for him. He's up to 7.
Ryan Otis had such a huge run off turn number 2. I tell you what, he got so close to the wall. If you decide to fit a piece of paper between the wall and Ryan Otis, it probably wouldn't fit. And that's how close it was for Otis hitting the wall last time by. As now it's going to move him up a spot on the racetrack.
They come around. There'll be 15 to go as they come around this time. Jason Galvin out in front. The AGR driver looking to get a win.
James Krahula is looking for, he's looking there too there, Soup. Yeah, you can't count him out. But those two guys start battling for the race lead. Bob Mikas in that popcorn seat position is actually lurking back there. Maybe a little ways, but just wait till they start battling for the race lead.
Season 5 has been one of the best team championship battles that we've ever seen in Lionheart. And a team that continues to compress is Controlled Chaos right now, again with Bob Mikas running in 3rd.
I Just seen smoke as the leaders are coming off turn number 2.
I think it was Michael Peters got loose, banged it up. And Peters put it in the wall, but I guess we're okay. No yellow flag.
Yeah, no yellow flag. I just seen a glimpse of smoke as the leaders are coming off turn number 2. As of right now, they're entering turn number 3. Going past Jonathan Goke, who is slow on the racetrack, getting out of the way of the race leaders as clock's ticking.
Goke, who was a real contender for the lead, has to let the leaders go by. The interval between Krahula and Mikas now is up to 0.8 of a second as the top 2 continue to pull away. One would think if fuel was an issue, they wouldn't be able to run these laps like they are right now.
No, I definitely agree. Krahula is losing some ground to the race leader at the moment, just a little bit. It looks like Galvin's a little stronger in 1 and 2, and Krahula can actually get back to him just a little bit. As far as speed is concerned, off of turn number 4.
Galvin's last lap was the second fastest on the track right now, so he's picking him up and putting him down.
Definitely is. He's on the move. He wants that victory, and fuel is not a concern for these top 2 drivers. It was a good strategy call.
Let's go to 4th position, or actually 5th position, I guess, or a battle for 4th. This is Robarge side by side with Bolster. Remember, Bolster was up there running with the leaders. He's fallen back. Robarge is coming. He only has 15 miles to get there, though.
Robarge is going to get a 4th place so far out of this stint. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch Bob Mikas for 3rd, but that's a very solid run for that Rainbow Warrior crew of Jason Robarge.
And some more big names go back to 6th position. We're looking at Kinsella. Remember, he's in the points battle. Right behind him is Jake Wright. That's a 2-time champion. Car in the grass. Could it have been Ryan Otis? Is that what I'm seeing? No. Michael Gray. Ryan Otis just banged it off the wall.
This is going to bring out a yellow. This will bring out a yellow. He got clipped. And we got 2 cars. We got a car flipping in 1 and 2.
Looked like Mitchell Moeller.
One that was going through the grass was Ron Hacker.
These might be unrelated. Mitchell Moeller banged it on the wall.
And Ron Hacker actually got hit from somebody there that sent him towards the grass.
No, Hacker. Okay, this is great. This is good. We can see this right now. Hacker got bumped into. Okay, it looks like it was Chris Stouffer. That's Chris Stouffer who moved Hacker over. Then I guess in a total unrelated spin up ahead was Michael Moyer who got loose.
Yeah, Mitchell Moyer had to check up the incident. That thing got out of control, hit the apron, went towards the outside wall really hard.
One more, we're going to go on board with Hacker. Now this is Stouffer that squeezes him over. Sends him through the grass. And then there's no stopping the car now. It's just going where it's going. He tries to get it wound up. He comes back. Ouch.
You topped it off right there. It's going where it's going, especially at the high rate of speed that you're going here at Texas. Man, it just goes where it goes, and pray that you don't hit them.
Well, the fans are happy that yellow flag came out before lap number 5 because I believe we're going to be able to get back under green again. This is probably not what Galvin and Krahula were hoping for, as they had distanced themselves from Mikas Robarge. This is going to bring in some of these big names that were fast. Keep an eye on Kinsella now in 6th position. Jake Wright.
Yeah, you're right, Soup. I'm sure Galvin Krahula did not want to see that caution because right now this is going to add more people to the mix. And guys, when you add everybody to the mix, everybody's going to go for a position. So you really got to be careful on where everybody is at on the racetrack so that they don't bump into you. But Jason Galvin, James Krahula definitely did not want to see that because you got a bunch of guys like Bob Mikas, Jason Robarge, Scott Bolster. You mentioned Andrew Kinsella. All those guys are going to do whatever they can to try to get the best position as possible.
Now, you heard me mention about Ryan Otis. During the same time that accident was going on, I saw Ryan Otis. He hit the wall. His car now, remember I said he was on the move. Well, he's fallen back to 12th position. And I don't think he's really a contender. He's just going to try to salvage what he can.
5 laps to go this time by, as we're going to get a replay up here.
Look at Ryan Otis kind of pancake it up against the wall. It wasn't horribly hard, but it was enough that I think it's going to take him out of contention. Be right on board. This is just about the same time that all the action was going on the other side of the track.
File down the back straight away, and 3 and 4.
Might have missed it. It's hard to say. Can't really see don't know what lap he did it on, but safe to say that he's going to be struggling. Take one more shot to see what happened to Ryan there. Referee's still looking for it. It's basically a slap on the wall. If you've seen one, you've seen 100 of them.
Well, with about coming to 4 laps to go here, Soup, we have seen our final, well, I shouldn't say our final caution, but we're going to see our final restart of the night because iRacing does not have any kind of green, white checkers or anything like that. So when we take the green flag, pretty much the next flag ends the race.
Well, Tanner, correct me if you think I'm wrong on this one, but if I had my choice, I'd like to be out in front right now. I haven't seen really the... Passing seems to be hard to do. They can get alongside of you. I think if you hang on to the inside, that's where I want to be, and that's where I kind of like Jason Galvin.
Yep, it's been proven all race long here, Soup, that track position is really key, and we have seen when Big Joe Hazard was out front, a lot of guys couldn't really get by him, and even if Big Joe was on older stuff. So passing is a real hard thing to do here at Texas, as we're going to see James Krahula and Jason Galvin leading the way. Those top 2 drivers are going to do everything they can to protect their position. At the same time, when Krahula's protecting the position, he's trying to go for the win. So it's definitely going to be very interesting in these closing laps here.
The lights are off the pace car. Coming around, there will be 3 to go.
Final restart of the night. 3 to go. Jason Galvin's going to be on a loud pedal. Here we go. He's on the gas right away. It looked like James Krahula may have spun the tires just a little bit on the start of that, but Krahula protecting that inside. That's the line he wants to be in. That is the preferred line all race long, as Jason Galvin with a big lead over Krahula and Bob Mikus.
Mikus has to be careful. Not sure if going side by side with the Krahula right now is in their best interest. They might want to just line up and see if they can get a run on Jason Galvin, who has a 0.4 of a second lead to go with 2 laps to go. Here we go, 3 miles between Jason Galvin and the checkered flag. Trying to get a run behind him is James Krahula. Krahula gets a little bit of a tap from Mikus. Mikus of another bump. He's trying to bump draft. We get a yellow flag. That's going to be it. Chris Stouffer has put it. Chris Stouffer involved in the incident. He got tapped from behind, I think by the Candyman.
Holy cow. We were setting up for a good finish, but there was an incident down turn number 1 and 2, or turn 1, I should say.
Not sure if the fans are going to be happy with that one, but I think they all can drive home knowing that Jason Galvin was the fastest car out there, and I would be surprised if Krahula or Mikus were going to have anything for him with the lead that he had. So, Jason, you can sleep well tonight knowing that that win was going to be yours no matter what color the flag you win it under.
Yeah, definitely. And if there's any going to be swapping back and forth for a position, a big-time position on the racetrack, it would have been between James Krahula and Bob Mikus, because Krahula got a tap from behind off of turn number 2, and that is a dangerous corner of the racetrack, too, at such a high rate of speed. But Krahula was able to hang on for a second-place finish along with Bob Mikus.
Part of the morning cast of Wakey Wakey Bakersfield. That is not the official name of it. If Sean Cracker's here, he could tell me exactly what it was. Tune in on the internet to watch Jason Galvin wearing his checkered tie tomorrow on the air as he wins his second career win here in the Texas 200. Second place goes to James Krahula. Bob Mikus gets third.
Rounding out this top 5, Jason Robarge and Andrew Kinsella, after starting in 30th, gets a top 5 finish. Tremendous.
Very much so. Okay, now, you've been watching Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Texas 200, and while the racing is over here in the Lone Star State, our broadcast is not. We're going to take a break, but we'll return shortly to launch into the Lock Precision Rocketry post-race show, where we'll run down the complete finishing order, talk to the drivers, and check in to see who on the YouTube chat had the correct trivia answer. Enjoy the HPP commercial, no clicking. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Texas 200. And while you've been watching here, as if I can find my lights part, let's go ahead and launch into the Lock Precision post-race show. And of course, it is soup and not crackers here again, as it is Tanner Sharp here to review the Texas 200 that you just saw here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. And the Lionheart IndyCar Series has raced here in Texas for its 5 seasons, but over 30 seasons, the name Lock Precision has been synonymous with mid and high-powered rocketry. Lock Precision manufactures a full line of high-quality, precision-fit components to meet your building, repairing, customizing needs. For more information, please visit www.lockprecision.com. Okay, we're going to run down the standings now. And your winner was Jason Galvin, just ahead of James Krahula as they employed a long-run pit strategy. The yellows came out, and they were able to bring it home. Bob Micas might had a chance at it perhaps, but the yellow came out, never really got to make a run for the win, but he'll take third. Jason Robarge and Andrew Kinsella, that's going to help Kinsella in the points championship, go 4th and 5th. Jake Wright, defending champion, comes in 6th. Scott Bolster with a good run. Dandy Dan, Garen, Dave, and Penny, well, he comes in 8th. Your little baby boy in that position, just ahead of Pierre Nightingale in 9th. Rounding out your top 10, it is George Anzaldo. Tanner?
Outside the top 10, Tony Schoen will finish 11th tonight after starting in 11th. Brandon Lickerman will finish in 12th. Michael Gray, Racing Kangaroo Gray, shall I say, will finish in 13th. The strategy didn't really play off for him. Vincent Blumenthal in 14th. Ryan Otis in the 15th spot tonight. Dustin Warlow, I believe that's the Candyman suit refers to, in 16th. 17th, Patrick Taylor. Rory Collins in 18th. James Paulson in 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Chris Stouffer.
The only driver 1 lap down is Brian Greenlee. Then we get to the drivers that had some serious trouble. 6 laps down or more. Jonathan Realthing Goke, Ron Hacker, Mitchell Moyer, Michael Peters, and Dave Barber. Oh, Dave Barber again had another good run, but he can only claim a 26th position. Michael Goodman, boy, he ran up front for a while as well, as did Big Joe Hassard. Look at this. Dave Barber, Michael Goodman, Big Joe Hassard, all in the back while running up front for a lot of times in the race. Ed Tutwiler, 29th position. Brian Yazik had trouble early on, going to finish 78 laps back in 30th. Peter Edwins, Jack Bogan, Travis Jagerliner, Trevor Bissett, Frank Beezer, Chris Lanini, Robert Bluen, and George Adams. I'm not sure George actually took the grid. I think we had 37 drivers out on the starting grid. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we have some interviews there. And it looks like our winner is there. I'm going to let Tanner Sharp go ahead and talk to the man from Bakersfield who picked up his 2nd career win. That is Jason Galvin. Go ahead, Tanner.
I came down to victory lane to catch up with Jason Galvin here, and Jason, you pulled off a strategy to win this race, actually, after being in some kind of mess here and there. Were you concerned on fuel in those closing stages of the race tonight?
No, actually, we were good. James and I both had communicated about it after we stopped, and it's funny, I had a feeling when I stopped there coming to 1 to go on that restart, was at lap 91, I think. I had a feeling if anybody else was going to come, it was James. He's like the master of fuel strategy. But when we got the yellow, that Michael Gray pitted on and gave us the lead, we were both good. So we had plenty. I had 2 gallons in the tank, 2 plus. We were 2.1 in the tank when I crossed the finish line. So things just kind of played out. The race was kind of going in that direction. We all got burnt on fuel strategy at Kentucky earlier this year, and that's a race I felt like I should have podiumed. So Soup sold me short. It's my 3rd career win. So.
Sorry about that.
You're all right, Soup. But, I mean, what an incredible night for everybody, for AGR, for our team. Jason finished 4th and probably should have been even higher than that. George had a great run, put it in the top 10. I'm sorry that Michael Goodman got taken out in that wreck, but he was certainly the strongest of our 4 cars. And it's funny, I played fuel strategy last night to win the practice race, and I guess that practiced me for tonight. But to everybody, to the league sponsors and First Medical Equipment, and Brandon Lincoln, and to HPP Simulations, and I'm sorry to their driver, Brian Yatzik. He went around, and I went and looked at the replay after. I thought I gave him room. I kind of made a move. I thought I gave him room, and there was tons of net code on that. So I feel awful. Brian's one of the best guys. But this is like redemption for me, because last week I was as down on myself as I'd ever been after a Lionheart race. I preached patience at Pocono, and then on lap 17 I ran straight into James like an idiot for like 11th place or something. So I'm glad James was up here with me. It was kind of redemption for both of us. And what a fun night. I never thought I'd win this race. That's crazy. When I was sliding down the back straightaway, I thought I was done, not on my way to a win.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. But I tell you what, that was some tremendous driving on the back straightaway there on missing the inside wall. I was like, holy cow, because you just missed the safer barrier by inches. Was that all driver skill from you there, or was the car just going where it wanted to?
I mean, I'd like to think that I at least got the car pointed in the right direction, and from there you just kind of hope and pray. I probably ran 150 laps at Long Beach in the Lotus yesterday to get ready for our race tomorrow night in the Retro Series, and in the Lotus, if you're not driving through a spin, you're not fast. So maybe that helped out. I don't know. But I mean, really, once Dan and I kind of clipped there, and even that was a little net code. But once Dan and I kind of clipped there, I was pointed towards the inside, and I just said to myself, get the nose pointed towards the outside, and from there it's just kind of at the mercy of the Dan Weldon gods, I guess. And I guess he wanted to see the 42 parked in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a tremendous run by you tonight after coming back from that incident off turn number 2. And you get up there with some strategy. It gives you the win after leading 28 laps today. So far in this season, you have led a total of 36 laps. Last time you led laps was back in Kentucky. And now we're going to a racetrack where it's really different than Texas, and that's Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, which is a road course. And according to your stats here, you like the road courses, because last time we were at the road course was the Watkins Glen Boot, and you got a 6th out of that. How do you feel of your chances at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park?
Tanner, it's an excellent question. It's funny. I sucked at road courses and I got to this league. And when I talk to people about our league, that's the thing that I preach. When you run with guys like Jake Wright and Jonathan Goke and Dan Guerin and James Krahula and Pierre Degley and Michael Goodman and Dustin Wardlow's an ace on road courses. I mean, when you run with guys as good as we have in this league, you're going to get better. So I've steadily improved my road course racing, and I think it's helped everywhere. Watkins Glen, I've maintained, I think, is the best race I've ever driven on iRacing, and I've had this service since it came out in, 2008 or 2009. So I'm excited. I still call it Moss Porter, whatever it is. I'm sure Pierre will give me the correct Canadian pronunciation on it, but I love that track. It is one of my favorite road courses in the world, but I'm going to be honest, I have no clue what an IndyCar is going to do there. It's got so many elevation changes and the bumps down the back section. It's going to be really fun. I mean, Jake Wright and Ryan Otis will probably lap the whole field, but the rest of it's going to be interesting. So I'm excited for that opportunity, and I've got my eyes down the line on Indy already, too. I'm trying not to look too far ahead, This is kind of like our Indy GP coming up at Canadian Tire, and then I got my eyes on the 500 already.
Most definitely, and that nickname towards it is Most Sport. You did get it correct the first time around, and it is definitely going to be a very interesting race, but it's going to be most importantly, a fun race to watch, Jason. So congratulations on your win here at Texas, and hopefully we can see you in Victory Lane once again in the near future, or next time at Most Sport, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or we could expect you to see a top 10 from you then.
Yeah, I'd be good with a top 10 in a 0X and make a run towards the top 5. It'd probably be a good race there. So, hey, thanks to you for stepping in for Sean. And for Sean, we missed him tonight. Soup does a great job. Amjad, everybody at GSRC, you guys are absolutely incredible. It's amazing the work that you guys do. So, thank you to you guys and the league sponsors, George and Zaldo, and all the league admins. It's a pleasure to be part of that group. And man, I can't believe I feel like I stole one tonight. But a win's a win, right? I'll take it.
Win's a win. Thank you, Jason, for taking the time with us. And, folks, that is your winner for tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway is Jason Galvin. Soup, I believe you're going to be catching up with somebody else here, somebody in the top 3 here.
I do. I got the second place finisher. Jason Galvin needs to check into getting a career in broadcasting. That man can talk. James Krahula. That's going to be a hard act to follow, not only on the track, but in the interview booth. James, did you have anything for Jason there at the end?
No, really, towards the end, you just can't really do anything. So I was trying to do something with him early when we kind of had some gap on, what is that? I think it was Bob behind us, Bob Mikas. Yeah. And, we just couldn't make anything happen. I made one run on him there, and he got back around me, and nothing he could do after that. So... but no, it was a good race. We got some strategy. We just couldn't get up towards the front. Passing was real hard all night, and to get a second place finish is, we stole one here today. So I need to hurry before the cops come.
Checking my notes, I can't read my handwriting. I thought I saw Bob Mikas. Was it you that he was trying to bump draft with, kind of give you a little shove down the straightaway there?
Oh, towards the end, no,
Yeah.
I screwed up bad. I pushed up into him, and he let off enough and chose not to take me out, so I appreciate that. He very well could have ended both of our races there, and it would have been completely my fault too. So he's a class act for checking up there, making sure that we were able to finish. And but then the yellow came out right after that, so it kind of relieved some of the pressure of that situation that was building.
Well, congratulations on second place. I know it's not a win, but you're happy with this one. Good luck as we good luck at Indy 2 coming up in about a month.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to Mosport. I think that's going to be a good race for us. Got to thank the No Name Racing crew. Got some fun teammates to be around. Thanks HPP for putting us on. Patriot Fire for sponsoring the car, and George and all the admins at Lionheart. I mean, I respect everything that they do, and they give us a fantastic place to race, and it's a blast every single week.
Congratulations, second place finisher James Krahula, and now we're going to let Tanner talk to our final podium finisher here in the Von Hansen Meat Machine Special. Of course, Bob Mikas. Go ahead, Tanner.
Yes, and I'm sure Bob Mikas is going to eating some steak from Von Hansen's. And Mike, you get a top three. Mikas, you get a top three here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway, and you like these 1.5 miles because you got that win at Kentucky, and you get a top three here at Texas. You're carrying some pretty good momentum here. How do you feel after today's race?
You know, the confidence just keeps building. After the rough season I had last year, coming in this season having, I think it's two top fives, 3 top 10s, and a win. I mean, can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, definitely. And as I just pull up your stats here, you collected your third top 5 finish of the season and 4 top 10s with a third place here. And last week at Pocono, you collected a top 5, which was a 5th place finish. And now with your win at Kentucky earlier in the season. And I tell you what, with you, you were driving really hard. Was there something on the high side that we don't know about? Because it seemed like the bottom line was the preferred groove of the racetrack. Tell me what your thoughts on the high side.
It was a give and take. I was really hoping for the high lane to come in because the bottom lane was really starting to fade toward the end of the race. And just not enough people were running up high, so the rubber didn't get up there enough and didn't get enough grip.
Yeah, definitely. And it looked like some guys were trying to put some grip in that high side, but it was majority of the field was running on that low side. But how hard is the passing here at Texas Motor Speedway? Because it seemed like track position means everything. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when the bottom is the primary line that is the fast way around the track and everyone is running it, the only way really to pass is track position or Hail Mary up high. So it's definitely really hard.
Most definitely. That's exactly what we were seeing up there in the booth. So, I mean, now we're going to a road course next, which is Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in this series. And the last time we were at a road course, you collected yourself a top 10 with a 10th place finish. How confident are you on possibly getting a top 10 or possibly top 5 or maybe even a win at Mosport?
A win is out of the question. I've put a lot of work in over the offseason to get better at road courses, and right now, I would be happy with a top 10 or a top 15. That's where I'm looking at right now for more Canadian.
That is a very nice goal. I mean, I feel you right there. Usually when I'm going to a track like Mosport, hopefully that's the goal, a top 10 finish, and if it's better, well, yahoo. But thank you, Bob, for taking the time to come talk to us tonight, and we will see you at Mosport next week or a few weeks.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Tanner, for filling in, and you guys all have a good night.
That was Bob Mikas there, Soup, who finished third.
Yeah, and at the risk of being a little bit self-serving here, I want to give you a compliment, Tanner. You and Amjad did a great job today. How about folks when they went back and Tanner said, let's take another look at that Jason Galvin spin where he put the car and kept it off the back rear wing off the wall. That ended up being the turning point of the race. You know, we try to have fun here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. I just call them one as I see them and use a lot of stupid catchphrases. It's great to work with the talent around me. Crackers, don't get jealous. I can't wait for you to come back. But Tanner, you did a good job. And with that said, let's go ahead and close up shop. We'd like to thank everybody at First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical equipment, supplies, and equipment in Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. For more information, please visit www.firstmedequipment.com. And how about HPP simulations? Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system in the world of sim racing, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. Tanner?
And for sponsoring the Countdown to Green, the new old-fashioned meat market and butcher shop, Von Hansen's Meat. Check those guys out at www.vonhansens.com. Also, for sponsoring the post-race show, Fly Hard, Fly Safe, and Fly Low Position Rockery. Thank you for those guys. And also, thank you to the Lionheart IndyCar Series, organizing the series and contracting with the Global Sim Racing Channel to broadcast it to you guys.
Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's show is thanks to Eric Eckholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series will return in Week 2, May 24th for Round 9 at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the IndyCar Grand Prix of Canada, presented by iRacing.ca. Global Sim Racing Channel will be there, and we hope you guys would join us too. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, the Global Sim Racing Channel, your best bet is www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSRC Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel.
And now, as promised, the answer to the Round 8 trivia question, which was, which driver owns an IndyCar victory at Texas and also shares the last name with an Indy 500 winner who he's not related to? Not Ray Hall. That wouldn't work. He has one here. That wouldn't work as well. Not an Andretti. Nope. Your answer was, who was it, Tanner?
It was Jeff Ward, Texas winner of 2002. Roger Ward, the Indy 500 winner in 1959 and 1962. The winner of that, someone did get a correct answer, was Mitchell Cornett. So congratulations to Mitchell Cornett on getting the correct answer.
Good job. Your prize is in the mail. Finally, on behalf of the man you just heard, Tanner Sharp, our director Amjad Yaman, our camera artist Dougie Beard, and Sean Crackers Ambrose, who I'm having withdrawal pains, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.